Now, if you've been following me on Instagram, you would have seen the teasers for what is a pretty majestic build. And it's finished! Look at it! Look what I've made! Look at how terrible it looks. So if you open it up though, there's like full on a PC in here with like cable management and stuff as well. It's really exciting, but no more, because we're gonna go through the build process in this video of taking this ordinary cardboard box and just turning it into an ordinary cardboard box with a PC in it. And then we're gonna do some video and stuff of what it looks like with the RGB in these fans. Because I've painted it white inside, it should be really reflective and look awesome and stuff like that. And then we're also gonna look at thermals and all the other interesting things. This is so stupid. Okay, now I've got the most basic component of the build here. We've got the cardboard box. Now the first thing is going to be to tape this up, and then we're going to do a test fit and then paint it. Like, it's really difficult cutting a box without it looking like crap. So taping up the ends, if we can get it to focus, there we go, taping up the ends and then painting over it might give it a kind of smoother feeling and make it feel less like it's just been shredded by a knife. Okay, so it's time for a test fit. This is the actual system, and this is the motherboard tray that I'm gonna, the motherboard tray in inverted commas, that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna put this pretty much like that. I'm obviously gonna have to cut it out so that the GPU can slip out. And then we need the power supply as well. So as you can see, it's not modular and it's a hideous power supply. But let's see, it actually fits in perfectly. And then I'm gonna cut a hole out there so that we can route the cabling under the box, under that black box. But I think that already looks pretty cool. We're making some pretty good progress. I've got the cutouts for the power supply and for the graphics card and rear I/O shield over there. I've actually taped up all the edges, and I'm hoping that the tape and the cardboard respond similarly to the spray paint that I'm going to use, so that you don't have like a different texture over where all the tape is than on the cardboard. So let's hope that goes well. I'm also going to have to do something about airflow though. So this is going to be the front of the case over here. I'm actually going to point with my foot. So this may be the front of the case, potentially. So I'm going to, I've got tape on my foot there. But so what I want to do is I'm potentially going to do a fan hole over there, and then a fan hole on this side as well. But I don't want to cut like a complete hole out. I want to try and perforate the box somehow. So it hasn't worked because the knife that I'm using, it's not going to be, because of how weak cardboard is, I'm not going to be able to make broad enough cuts that let enough air in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a circle out and then use some mesh between the box and the fan that I can just screw in with it so that too much dust doesn't come in. But I mean, it's hardly going to be sealed, so like dust is going to be an issue regardless of what I do. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how perfectly that roll of tape fits over the fan, like over the actual like air bit of the fan. So now I can just use that to trace a circle and cut it out. Is that not amazing? This is super exciting with the extra holes that I've cut now. So 2 in the front and 2 in the back for some intake action. I actually think this case is gonna have better airflow than most modern cases. Hashtag shots fired. Might edit that out. Now it's time to start painting the box, which is very exciting. Okay, so the holes work except for the one that I cut here and the one that I cut over here, because the cables aren't long enough and they have to go through those already existing holes in the motherboard. So I just sat for like 20 minutes cutting holes under the motherboard tray that weren't necessary. But maybe these cables, like the extra kind of like SATA and Molex power, can go underneath there, and I can kind of send it out to where it needs to go in the case for the fans in the front and the back. So that's kind of what's going to help me sleep tonight, is that's the case. Anyway, I think the test fit went quite well, and it actually looks pretty clean, considering the fact that it's ketchup and mustard. And then just to remind all of you at home, it's very important that safety's always first. Like for example here, I put some of those kind of hole punch reinforcement things on all of the holes I made for the zip tying down of the motherboard. Because again, safety first. Now, as you can see, I've got an entire PC here in my hands. I didn't want to do the graphics card separately because the cardboard isn't very strong. So if I have to push down really hard to make it, well, not that hard, but for the PCI Express slot to click in, I don't want to cause any damage. Now, you can actually come over here. You can see what I've done for the mounting mechanism for the motherboard. So I've got 2 holes. It's only going to be 4 points that it's going to be secured along. I'm going to be really ghetto about it, but I mean, I'm zip tying a motherboard to a box and then gluing that box into another box. So like, I think the ghetto ship has sailed at this point. But yeah, so again, safety first. I've got the little stickers in there, so that means everything's going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lead it through like this. Oh my god, this is really terrifying. This feels like I'm digging in someone's brain. But I'm going to lead it through like that so that I don't have to worry too much about where the zip ties go. This is also, again, really difficult to do as a lone human being because there's only 2 of us and one of us has to film. So at this point, oh, the one slipped out. Oh my god.
That's what she said.
It's not time for jokes, Anna. Okay, so let's pull this down. This is, I think, going okay. Oh, it's not going very well over here and over here, and oh my god, look at that! Look at that! It's actually down. Okay, can I just say that I'm being super extra about this. I'm not just putting a motherboard in a box. I'm actually building like a functional case. So anyway, let's zip tie it down and see how it goes. If the zip tying thing works and if I put all the zip ties the right way around. I think I might have. And then like that. There we go. And then we're gonna do another one over here. Like that. And then there's another one over here. Like, oh, hang on. Like that. And then the last one, and then we're gonna see, and that's obviously gonna be super dangerous, but we're gonna see if the motherboard can actually hang off the cardboard bottle. So now is the moment of truth. Let's see.
Oh my god, why would you do it over the floor?
Look at that! Oh yeah, I should probably do it not that high, but look at that! I just need to kind of tie the zip ties down a bit more.
Oh my god, that graphics card is gonna like...
It's clicked in, the PCI Express slot is holding it. That's not the safest thing ever, but it's worked. Okay, so now let's just tighten these up a bit more, and then we're good! This is so exciting! Now what I need to do while the case, or the box, is drying over there, I need to mount this SSD underneath the motherboard tray here. Now this is going to be a fairly dodgy thing to do while holding a camera, but I'm going to use these kind of like mounting tape things, and I'm just going to put it on the back. So let me quickly do it and we'll have a look back. Okay, and then just like that, we have the SSD mounted to the base of the motherboard plate with that running around like that. And then the SATA cable runs around like that in here. So luckily, I've actually ended up using that cutout, but it could have been like 1/8 of the size. You know, this is not as exact a science as doing it in like a real case. Oh, and the cables aren't long enough. That doesn't help either. Oh yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with this, so I might just kind of stuff it in there. No one will know, right? I honestly think this is the most like no, I can't think of the word.
Absurd.
Yeah, absurd is good. But I honestly think this is the most inappropriate thing I've ever done with hardware. Oh, some paint came off. Oh no! Okay, but it's okay, we're good. Okay, so Now, obviously, the easiest way for me to cop out here is to just not glue it on and just leave it on its side. But that would be so lame. I need to glue it in. No, I need to. I owe it to the internet. Okay, I'm gonna glue it in.
Okay.
So here, boys and girls, is what happens when you don't...
When you're a dumbass.
Yeah, when you're a dumbass and you don't measure. So the thing is, I can't pull the motherboard down further because the rear I/O lines up with that. But that doesn't fit. And I can't move the power supply down more because the cables aren't long enough. So, hooray for terrible power supply! Hashtag shift blame. I'm just gonna blame the power supply.
Yeah, it's hashtag bad design.
So this is my face the moment that I realized that I didn't quite think this through. So I bought, which again, like always happens, but I bought glue and these pads, right? Because my thinking, and kind of bear with me here, my thinking was that I was gonna, with these pads, stick the power supply to the side of the case. And then with the glue this box into the case so that I can put the case upright and have the PC stand upright. But that's not gonna work. Like, the paint is really fragile because it's cardboard box, it doesn't stick to it properly. So like the glue, this glue and this sticky stuff isn't gonna stick to the side of the box properly. And like, the power supplies are heavy. And this graphics card that we're gonna use, which I've now lost. Oh, this graphics card, this is like a huge bit of graphics card. Like, this thing's heavy. It's not gonna hang. So, ooh. Okay, so we're just gonna assemble it like it is, and it's gonna be a lie down loser PC, and then we're just gonna have to live with the fact that I suck. Now it's time to put the graphics card in. I again kind of eyeballed the measurements. I just never do anything properly, but I eyeballed the measurements. So hopefully it actually fits under that. And again, if my brother's watching, I'm sorry that you have to witness me do this stuff to your hardware. I mean, it works. Like, it's not what I'd call airtight, but you know, that dust is gonna be a huge issue. But like, it's in, right? It's in. Now what we need to do is try and put the rear I/O shield in, because, you know, for dust and things. Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, so let's plug it in, and I'm gonna put some fans in here. We're gonna get some RGB going, and this thing at night is gonna look awesome. So let's get it going. Now there is a bit of a quirk with this very quirky PC, in that I don't have a power button, so I still have to jump start it with the rod of truth. So let's see, it's plugged in, it's connected to peripherals and stuff, it's open. Maybe come over here, maybe this side, so that we can see, I'm just gonna take that out, if it turns on. Oh, look at that! Look at that! And I think that's time for some B-roll. And we're starting with t-shirt number 3. You can actually tell how long a video took to make just based on how many t-shirts I wear throughout the video. But yes, we're done with the beast over here, and it worked really well. honestly, these fans are doing a great job. So I've got 2 intake fans pulling air in and then 1 exhaust fan. And because of that ratio, it means that there's positive airflow in the case. So you can actually feel the air being pushed out of the sides, which is really awesome. And when you stick your hand into the case, you can really feel a lot of air being pushed through, especially because there isn't any like dust filtration at the front. So it makes it really easy for the fan to just push a bunch of air through. And that actually shows in the temperature results, because I ran IDA 64 and Furmark for the GPU, and the i7 3770, which was clocked to 4 gigahertz, which is its boost clock, was running at 48 degrees Celsius, which is really low, and the GPU was struggling a bit. The GTX 970 from Gigabyte, it's the windforce variant, was running at 91 degrees Celsius, but I honestly think that's because the cooler is a bit old and it's struggling. But honestly, that's a better result than the open air test bench, which topped out at about 54 degrees on the CPU. I'm really impressed with how well this thing performs. Honestly, the airflow in here is great, and it actually looks awesome, like you could tell from the B-roll before. It casts this really soft light, which actually makes it really good for taking photos of products in front of the case because of the light spill. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a huge amount of performance benchmarks for the setup, but honestly, an i7 powering a GTX 970 is a very well documented kind of performing setup. So if you want to know how this performs, there are a bunch of videos online, and I'll actually link some in the description below. There's one by Techie City that he did this year, like 2 months ago, looking at the GTX 970. So if you want more performance results, have a look at that. But yeah, I honestly think it's an amazing PC, and I think it worked out really well. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, do like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and subscribe to my Twitter and Instagram for updates about what's happening to the channel. And yeah, until the next video, bye bye.